woman had to call her husband because he refused to return their 2-year-old child after a visitation. And in the course of the phone call, he threatened her life and the life of the child. And the judge said that the aggravated harassment law did not apply and let him off the hook. And so I went to the papers. This judge called me up after this story appeared in the newspaper, and he said, "I'd like to have lunch with you and talk about this." I just spent an hour telling him about all the statistics, and he completely did a reversal, and from that point forward took a much harder line in these sorts of cases. And that's a big impact, because now you have a judge who's going to hear case after case after case. It was a fabulous 4 years at Rutgers and Douglass. I always say the two best things for me from coming from Rutgers were the incredible education I got, but the group of friends that I made starting freshman year, starting the first day we landed on campus in a dorm together. There are 15 of us, and now we're 45 years out, and we are still together. We travel together. We are with each other for the good times, the challenging times. We support each other, and we all know each other from way back when, so there is no group in my life that I'm more comfortable with or feel more trusting of than this group of Douglass women.
Julie has given so much back to Douglass. It's just incredible. From her work on the Dean's Advisory Committee, to leading that committee, to even just mentoring young women one-on-one. That's what Julie does, and that's aside from her incredible accomplishments as a lawyer, writing the statute for anti-sex trafficking for the state of New York, which is a model across the nation.
Incredible to admire
Yeah.
what Julie has accomplished, and she's a hell of a lot of fun too.
I always knew I wanted to go into public service, and at the end of that time I started interviewing for all kinds of different positions, and the one that really interested me was an opportunity to start a legal clinic for battered women. We started with a desk in a hallway, and by the time I left we had about 500 pro bono attorneys who would take cases. When I had the opportunity to see that for a very disadvantaged group, women and children being battered and abused in their homes, who had nowhere to turn and were not getting adequate police response, certainly weren't getting adequate responses through the courts. We knew we could make big, big change in that field, and we did.
I was thinking Pavlov's Julie.
To Julie,
It's to you guys.
Douglass,
It's to Douglass. And to Old Queens.
and Old Queen.
And Old Queens. And Rutgers.
We don't mean us.
Are you Rara?
Are you rara? It was Dean Jacqueline Litt who, and I don't know why, called me out of the blue. I had been running my sister's place and I had retired from that. And she called me and said, "Would you be willing to meet for dinner?" I thought, sure, I love Douglass. And we had dinner, and she told me she was starting an advisory board of alums, and she was asking me if I would consider serving on it. And she so impressed me with her cutting-edge way of thinking about women's education, her passion for making sure that Douglass kept its mission for creating women leaders, that I said I would do it. And she put together this advisory board, and they're the most wonderful group of people I've ever dealt with on a committee or task force in my life. Convocation is Douglass's version of graduation. Since Douglass students get their degree from Rutgers, we still want to do a ceremony here acknowledging that they're graduating. It is my favorite day of the year in terms of my Douglass involvement. It's very emotional for me. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of what Douglass and Rutgers is doing to make it possible for them. Many of them are first-generation college graduates. The feeling you get when you hear those families cheering for these graduates as they come across the platform, there is nothing like that. It is unbelievable to me to be included in the Rutgers Hall of Distinguished Alumni. I was shocked when I got the email. It is such a huge honor. I am quite overwhelmed and very happy that it gives me the opportunity to talk about Rutgers and to talk about Douglass.